MKG Online Study, an e-learning platform. In this video, we are going to discuss what are classification of computer architecture. This classification is based on the type whether an instruction and a data are stored in same memory unit or not. There are two types, von Neumann architecture and non-von Neumann architecture. Non-von Neumann architecture is further divided in two types, Harvard architecture, modified Harvard architecture. Let us discuss these one by one. Von Neumann architecture, as you can see in this diagram, is having a single memory unit in that data and code or instruction is stored. Whereas in Harvard architecture, as you can see, program is stored in program memory and data is stored in another, that is in data memory. So in Harvard architecture, parallelism exists, whereas in von Neumann architecture, there is a single memory unit in which instruction and data is stored. Let us discuss comparison. Harvard architecture. This architecture consists of separate program and code memory. Von Neumann architecture consists of common program and code memory. Execution of instruction are faster because fetching of code and data are separate in Harvard architecture. Execution of instruction is relatively slow because not possible to fetch code and data simultaneously. Execution of instruction take less instruction cycle in Harvard architecture. Execution of instruction takes more instruction cycle in von Neumann architecture. Use of RISC processor in Harvard architecture. RISC means reduced instruction set computer. Use of CISC processor in von Neumann architecture. CISC means complex instruction set computer. This is greater amount of parallelism. In von Neumann, there is no need to have parallelism. Chip design is complex because of separate memory in Harvard architecture. The largest advantage is that it simplifies the chip design in von Neumann architecture because only one memory is accessed. Example of Harvard architecture are general microcomputers, that is PIC, special DSP, that is digital signal processor. Motorola 68HC11 are example of von Neumann computer. Microcontroller 8085, 8086, MC6800. The third is modified Harvard architecture. The difference between Harvard architecture and modified Harvard architecture is modified Harvard architecture consists of cache memory. So in processor there is a cache memory which is not present in Harvard architecture. This is the difference between Harvard and modified Harvard architecture. Fast memory storage called cache, which increases more flexibility in Harvard architecture, or we can say more speed in Harvard architecture. So main memory is connected to instruction cache, data cache and then processor. So again, modified Harvard architecture is different from von Neumann architecture because in von Neumann architecture there is single memory which consists of instruction and data, whereas in Harvard architecture there is different instruction memory and data memory, and in modified Harvard architecture with different instruction and data